Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jack and Emma English podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack.
You know, listening to English podcasts is one of the fastest and most enjoyable ways to improve your speaking and listening skills. When you hear real, natural conversations about everyday topics, like what you did over the weekend, you start thinking in English instead of translating from your own language. That is the secret to fluency.
Exactly. Talking about your weekend is something you do almost every Monday. You do it with friends, with colleagues at the office, or even as an icebreaker in job interviews. If you can speak about your weekend naturally, using the right past tense verbs and adjectives, your overall English confidence will skyrocket.
Whether you had a relaxing weekend at home, a busy weekend running errands, or an exciting one exploring the city, by the end of this episode, you'll be able to describe it clearly and naturally. We even have a special pronunciation tip later in the show that will instantly make you sound more like a native speaker. Ready? Let's begin. To start, Jack and I are going to have a normal, everyday conversation about our weekends. Don't worry if you don't understand every single word right now. Just listen to the flow of our voices and try to catch the main ideas.
All right, Emma, tell me the truth. How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was really nice, actually. I desperately needed some rest. On Saturday, I intentionally didn't set an alarm and woke up quite late, around 9:30.
9:30? That's still early for me on a Saturday.
Well, it felt like a sleep-in. Then I made a massive breakfast. I'm talking scrambled eggs, avocado on sourdough toast, and a huge mug of fresh coffee. After that, I went for a really long walk in the park near my flat in London. The weather was surprisingly beautiful, sunny, crisp, and not too cold. I even stopped to listen to a street musician playing the guitar. It was perfectly peaceful. What about you, Jack? How was your weekend?
Mine was quite different, very action-packed. On Saturday morning, I dragged myself to the gym for a heavy workout. Then, in the afternoon, I met up with a few old university friends at a cafe in central London. We grabbed a table outside, drank way too much coffee, and just caught up on life for hours. It's always so nice to reconnect with people you haven't seen in a while.
That sounds lovely. Did you do anything on Sunday, or did you just recover from the gym?
Mostly recovered. On Sunday, I stayed at home and watched the football match. Manchester United won in the last 10 minutes of the game, so I was jumping around my living room. I was thrilled.
I can imagine. What did you get up to after the match?
Well, I had built up quite an appetite, so my flatmate and I cooked dinner together. We made a spicy tomato pasta from scratch. It was a simple recipe, but absolutely delicious. We actually ended up making a bit of a mess in the kitchen, but it was worth it. Then, in the evening, I video called my parents back in Manchester. We chatted for almost an hour about their garden and the family dog. How about your Sunday, Emma?
On Sunday, I did some grocery shopping at the local farmers market. I love going there because I can buy fresh, organic fruits and vegetables directly from the people who grow them. I bought some amazing strawberries. In the afternoon, I just curled up on the sofa, read a few chapters of a thriller novel, and binge-watched a new Netflix documentary series. Nothing too crazy, but it was a perfect low-key day. You know, sometimes the best weekends are the simple ones.
I completely agree with that. Weekends are meant for resting and recharging your batteries for the week ahead. But, you know, sometimes I also like to push myself to do something completely new. Actually, last weekend, not this one, but the one before, I tried indoor rock climbing for the very first time.
Wow, really? That sounds intimidating. How was it?
It was incredibly challenging, both mentally and physically. My arms were sore for 3 days afterwards, but it was so much fun figuring out how to reach the top of the wall.
That sounds exciting. I definitely need to step out of my comfort zone and try something adventurous like that soon. All right, everyone. That was our natural conversation. Did you catch what we did on Saturday and Sunday?
Before we move on to our vocabulary list, we want to give you a quick, super valuable grammar and pronunciation tip. When you talk about the weekend, you are talking about the past. This means you must use the past simple tense.
Exactly. In our conversation, you heard us use irregular verbs like I woke up, I went for a walk, I bought fruit, we made pasta. You have to memorize these. But for regular verbs, we add ed at the end, like watch becomes watched, stay becomes stayed.
But here is the secret to sounding like a native speaker. The ed ending has 3 different sounds: t, d, and ed. Listen carefully. 1. When I said I watched a football match, the word watched sounds like it ends with a T. Watched. T. 2. When Emma said I stayed at home, the word stayed ends with a soft D. Stayed. D. 3. And if a verb already ends in a T or a D, like visit, we add an extra syllable. Ed. I visited my parents.
Practice those 3 sounds. Watched, t, stayed, d, visited, ed. It makes a huge difference in your fluency.
Welcome to part 3. Now we will focus on 7 important words and 3 very useful phrases to describe your weekend.
We'll explain their meaning, say them slowly, then at normal speed, and finally give full natural example sentences so you can practice shadowing us. Shadowing means repeating exactly what we say, matching our rhythm and tone.
Let's dive in.
Word 1, relaxing. Relaxing. This means calm and restful, free from stress or anxiety. My weekend was very relaxing. My weekend was very relaxing. Example 1. On Saturday, I stayed at home and read a book in the sun. It was a very relaxing day. Example 2. After a stressful week at the office, I desperately needed a relaxing weekend with my family in the countryside.
Word 2. Exciting. Exciting. This means full of fun, thrills, and high energy. My weekend was really exciting. My weekend was really exciting. Example 1. We went to a massive outdoor music festival in London. It was such an exciting weekend. Example 2. I tried rock climbing for the first time. It was exciting, but a little scary too, to be honest.
Word 3. Chilled/chilled out. Chilled. This is a massive favorite in British English. It just means very relaxed, informal, and easygoing. We had a chilled weekend. We had a chilled weekend. Example 1. We didn't make any big plans. We just stayed at home, ordered pizza, and had a chilled weekend. Example 2. After traveling for business all week, I wanted a completely chilled weekend doing absolutely nothing.
Word 4. Productive. Productive. This means you got a lot of tasks, chores, or work finished. You didn't waste time. My weekend was surprisingly productive. My weekend was surprisingly productive. Example 1. I cleaned my entire flat, did 3 loads of laundry, and bought groceries. It was a very productive weekend. Example 2. Even though it was my day off, I studied English for 2 solid hours. I felt really productive.
Word 5. Refreshing. Refreshing. This means something made you feel fresh, awake, and full of energy again, like a cool glass of water on a hot day. The weekend was very refreshing. The weekend was very refreshing. Example 1. Leaving my phone at home and spending time in nature was so refreshing after a long week staring at screens. Example 2. A quiet weekend at home with good food and plenty of sleep was exactly the refreshing break I needed.
Word 6. Eventful. Eventful. This means full of events. A lot of things happened. It can be good or bad, but it was definitely busy. It was a very eventful weekend. It was a very eventful weekend. Example 1. First, my car broke down, then I lost my keys, and then I won a raffle. It was a very eventful weekend.
Word 7. Low-key. Low-key. This is very popular right now. It means quiet, without a lot of attention, noise, or big crowds. I had a low-key weekend. I had a low-key weekend. Example 1. I didn't want to go to the loud party, so I just invited one friend over for coffee. It was very low-key.
Fantastic. Now, let's look at 3 essential phrases that will make your sentences sound connected and natural. Phrase 1. I spent the weekend.
We use this to talk about how we used our time. You say, I spent the weekend, plus verb with an ing ending. I spent the weekend visiting my friends. I spent the weekend visiting my friends. Example 1. I spent the weekend visiting my grandparents in the countryside. It was lovely. Example 2. She spent the weekend exploring new cafes in downtown Chicago. Phrase 2. It was a great way to.
We use this to explain the result or the feeling of an activity. It was a great way to relax. It was a great way to relax. Example 1. Going for a long walk in the morning sunshine was a great way to start my weekend. Example 2. Cooking a big traditional Sunday roast with the family was a great way to end the week. Phrase 3. I ended up.
Native speakers use this constantly. We use I ended up plus verb ing when our plans changed, or when we are talking about the final result of the day. I ended up staying at home. I ended up staying at home. Example 1. It started raining really heavily, so we ended up staying inside and watching movies all day.
You've done an amazing job listening and learning today, but listening isn't enough. You have to speak. Now it's your turn. We have a challenge for you.
We want you to pause this audio, set a timer on your phone, and speak out loud for 45 to 60 seconds about your last weekend. Tell us the truth. Try to use the past simple tense correctly, and try to use at least 3 of the new words or phrases we learned today.
Here is a quick example of how you can start. My weekend was very relaxing. I spent the weekend at home. On Saturday, I ended up cleaning my house, which felt very productive.
Even better, record yourself on your phone and listen back to it. You will be amazed at how much you can correct your own pronunciation. Once you've practiced speaking, write a short paragraph about your weekend in the comments section below.
Yes, we read every single comment, and we love replying to our listeners from all over the world. Don't be shy. This is a safe space to practice your English.
Thank you so much for spending your time and practicing with us today. If you found this episode valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Jack and Emma English podcast, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new lesson.
You can also find our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you can learn English while you commute. In our next episode, we are going to cover something you will definitely need: how to order food at a restaurant in English confidently. You won't want to miss it.
Keep practicing every single day. Even 10 minutes a day makes a huge difference. Your English is getting better already. Take care, have a wonderful week ahead, and bye for now.
See you next time. Bye, everyone. Next time.